Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Warm welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this cloud webinar on this very nice Friday morning. Now, without further ado, let's quickly go through our agenda. What is this cloud that everybody's talking about? We'll be dealing with that. Also, I'm going to be jumping into the getting started, new users sign up, navigating the CaseWare Cloud, setting up your firm, your users, and your entities, CaseWare Cloud integration with the cloud. I'm going to be showing you how to upload a CaseWare file, the different ways of doing that, and also downloading a CaseWare file, how to do that. And then lastly, I'm not sure if time permits, I'll also be going a little bit into Q and to review on the go. Okay, now without further ado, what is this cloud and what does it do? What does it mean to me? Now, the description here, CaseWare Cloud is a secure web-based collaboration environment that greatly improves the way that your staff work together with clients. With hassle-free updates, any device access, and new ways of tracking your engagement, CaseWare Cloud elevates your collaboration efforts to a whole new sphere. Okay, now what does that mean to me, Andre? So just quickly, the benefits on using CaseWare Cloud versus VPN and other cloud servers. So just on that, VPN and other cloud solutions, the upload and download the full file every time. Okay, what does all of this mean? So a lot of people have asked, what is the difference in using cloud versus my VPN server, or like, let's say, the Dropbox or any one of those applications? So the thing is, all of those are very wonderful ways of sharing your CaseWare files, but if you upload it to your server or to a Dropbox or to your Google Cloud account, etc., you'll be uploading the whole account. I'm going to be using VPN in this example. You upload your whole file for your manager. He then downloads it back at the office. Okay, now he makes one change, he signs off one area, he then uploads it back up to the server, the whole file goes back up, you then VPN that whole file back out to on your side back at the office. Okay, that's on that area there, it's a whole file up and down. Okay, whereas with SmartSync and using cloud, you upload and download the file once, and only the changes, the delta changes, will then will sync subsequently. Okay, so that is basically where a lot of people, when they get cloud and stuff, they're like, is my 3G charge going to be so much more and stuff? At the moment, you guys are already uploading and downloading those files using your Dropboxes, etc. This just basically simplifies that, and only your delta changes will be synced out. Okay, also Q, you can now have your finger on the pulse at all time. What Q does for us is it actually goes into your file, and actually you can go see your key dates, you can see significant risk that's been created, you can see with a quick glimpse what's happening in an audit. Okay, especially from a manager point of view or partner point of view, it's difficult to always know what's happening on each file at every given point in time. And only once you phone your manager or your senior at the job do you actually really know what's going on and how's it going back at the client. With Q, you can see at that given point in time what's happening on your engagement. Okay, then also your customers can also now communicate and collaborate with you. So you can ask your clients to upload documentation, etc. And then also it's secure. Just on that, it's on the Amazon server, which is in the Isle of Man. So it's a very, very secure server. And then also review on the go. I'm going to be showing you that a little bit later if time permits, how the review on the go works. You can actually now review using your tablet or your phone, etc. On the go, so you can also be using that. Okay, now getting started, you usually, when you start with CaseWare, with the cloud, you'll usually get an email that says your account has been registered, and I'll be showing you that a little bit later as well. But the email will look something like this. Sorry, it's cut off maybe slightly on your side, but it's basically an email that says you have now been registered, you need to log on and then reset your password. Okay, so you'll get your email. Now I'm just going to quickly log into my cloud account, and then I'll be showing you how to go and create new users, etc. So just very quickly, I'm going to go and open up the cloud. Okay, and I've already logged in. Okay, so from your side, okay, you should be seeing my screen now. There you go. So it always opens up on the default view here is the timeline. Okay, this will show you what's happening in your practice. Now, on my side, you'll see that this site is pretty new. My only file that I've got here is Lunchbox Pty Limited in this example, but you can then go and look at a timeline of what's happening here. You can also look at a timeline for a specific client, etc. You can also look at the activities, the files, etc. Now, I'm going to be jumping right into the firm settings screen here. I'm going to be just touching onto the firm settings here. It's quite straightforward, guys. Also, on the firm settings or anywhere in the cloud, if you want to know something, the little question mark icon on your side will point you to the help screen, and it is quite interactive and it helps you a lot. I'm not sure, but I think in some instances there are even some YouTube videos, etc. Okay, so when you get this site, everything is new in it. So I'm just going to quickly run through all of this. Usually one person, one or two people in the firm will be doing this, the firm setup, but once it's done, it's set up for you. So the profile, as you can see, it's very nicely here. The firm details, the firm name. In my instance, I'm using CQS training, the address, etc. All fields that are required are indicated with a little asterisk there. I know it's probably a little bit small on your side, but there's a small red asterisk, so that means those are required fields. Again, there's a save button at the bottom. You fill in the details and you click on save. So I'm not going to go through each and every detail here. The sign-in page this is what you'll see once you log into the page, and you'll see that just now once I actually register you as a user on our training site. Okay, you can embed your logo here. So in this case, I've embedded my CQS training here. You can then go and embed your firm's details here, as well as you can have some welcome text there, welcome to CaseWare Cloud, or you can, for instance, say, welcome to Howard Erastus and Company, or Oakam Skolslibbe geïncorporeer. Okay, you can have any details there. Okay, then import client files. I'll be dealing with that a little bit later. Okay, then email, you can change your settings here, like what do you want your email display name to be, and also the default account here is do not reply at casewarecloud.com. So when you register a client or an individual, one of your clerks back at the office, the email that it will come from is do not reply at casewarecloud.com, and you can change the email display name. So if you want to have that, for instance, show Elliot Anderson Nell Inc. Cloud account, etc., or what, you can change that, and you can also change the signature detail here. Okay, then also the email log, you can actually have an email log of all the emails that you've sent to your clients or to your clerks, etc. Okay, then also on your the security, the role permissions, just very quickly, all of this is quite straightforward. You'll see this is the default settings that CaseWare Cloud account gives you. You can go and add roles for some reason. Okay, so you can go add more admin roles, more firm setting roles, staff, etc. You'll see that there's almost like a gray icon of a person there, and then there's also a yellow one. The difference between these two are the gray one is your internal people, your staff, and then the yellowish one is your clients. So you can go and create more staff or more client accounts here. And then on the right-hand side, the scope, it does go into detail of what gives you a brief there of what it does. And then on the right-hand side, if you click on it, you can actually go see what these people can go and do. And if you go click on something, you'll see there the contacts, they can, in the firm there, they can access contact details, firm details, they can change it, edit it, or delete it, etc. Okay, then the password settings, on that you can change if you add more staff, the passwords. Do you want it to be very strong, moderate, strong, or very strong? And on the right hand side, it gives you example of a moderate password, a strong quality password, or a very strong password. Okay, so back at the office, you can change that if you want to. Okay, and then also, do you want the passwords to expire? Okay, so if I say yes, you'll see it asks you there, password expiry. Okay, in a number of months, after every how many months should it expire? So after every 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to change that to no. Okay, then session management. What that basically means is that when a user logs in, okay, for how many hours can they be consecutively logged in? So if you leave that as an 8, they can be logged in for 8 hours, and if they're inactive for 8 hours, it will actually go and log that person out. Okay. Then also the customization. I'm going to go very briefly through all of this. Your view management. Basically here is you'll start seeing, like in your firm, that depending on how you work with the cloud, you can go and save different views. So when I'm working with files, for instance, okay, just waiting for that to open, what do you want your end user to see? Okay, must they be able to see the basic view looks like this, detailed view looks like this, retention view, etc. What I've seen with this is when you're using the cloud, use it as normal, and then you go play around with your different views. And as soon as you've seen a view that actually works nicely for the firm, you can go and edit this or save these different views. And also you can go click on new, so that new file views, new people views, new entity views, so you can go and add more views here. Okay, then terminology, that's just basically, if we talk about an internal entity, what do you guys call it back at the office? We call clients. If you call it customers, so you can go and just change that as well. Okay, tag management, I'm going to be mentioning tags a little bit later, and tags are quite nice, where you can, if you want to look for something, you can go and add a firm-wide tag where, for instance, 2015. So if at any time you tag something with the 2015, it will actually bring up all the stuff with 2015. So, and you can add it like in terms of bank statements or supporting documentation, etc. So if you're looking for a supporting doc, you search for supporting docs and it will actually come up with that. Okay, then your links management. This is any links that you want your firm to have like quick access to. You can click on the add and then add this, for instance, maybe like the SICA or your governing bodies, etc. Maybe your revenue services. You can go and add that link as well. Okay, enabling and disabling features, so you can go and edit all these features. You can go Google mashups, your Microsoft mashups. You can let people have access to this, the Google Drives, etc. The one I just want to point out to you very quickly is the chat function. Now, on there, you can actually disable the chat function. If you do not want to allow chatting on the web in the firm, you can disable that. Then there's also different options here. Never delete the chat messages, never store the chat messages, or you know what, store these chat messages for, let's say, 60 days, etc. Okay, I'm going to leave it as never delete chat messages, and we'll be going through the chat just a little bit later. Then the regional settings, just again here, guys, I think America are the only guys that uses the the imperial system, but everywhere else, I think it's actually set up here with commas and full stops. You can go and change this. Also your symbols, do you use euros, rands, dollars, pounds, etc. Okay, then the positives and negatives, the dates and times, and the default country code there. Okay, custom entity types. So we'll be going through on how to go create entities and stuff, but you can go and go into a little this can get quite complex, and you can go add different spheres to this, like different clients, maybe your non-profit clients, my listed clients, all of that stuff. So you can go add subcategories to that. For now, I've kept quite a linear, standard, normal way of displaying all my clients, but you can go break them into different categories. You can even go and maybe have all my February year-end clients, all my December year-end clients, so you can go and set this up. Okay, just something I want to mention, and I might mention this a little bit later as well. Guys, just on the creating clients, we've seen a couple of people do this, but this is not your folder settings. So when you create clients, please do not think of it as a folder in your normal Windows Explorer. This is actually a client. So I see a lot of people go create client XYZ 2015, and then next year they go create client XYZ 2016. Okay, client is XYZ. Within the client, you can go and create folders. So just as a note there, just please do not go and create a client per every year. Okay, then custom entity properties. Again, you can go through all of this to just add more properties to the group if you wanted to. And then workflow management, we're not using at the moment, but later on we are going to start using workflow management, where you can go and add more workflows to this in